Welcome back to the channel. Today we're with the updated Volkswagen ID4, Ireland's favourite electric vehicle, best-selling of all time, and so far in 2025 Ireland's best-selling electric vehicle and #1 fleet sales vehicle. So there's still a lot of love for the Volkswagen ID4, and with this updated version, more powerful electric motor, more efficient electric motor, better infotainment system, what's not to like about the Volkswagen ID4? Today we're going to have a look around the outside, the inside, and then taking it out for a drive. Let's get started. Exterior wise, not a lot has changed on the ID4 that I looked at first. The first edition back 3 years ago, back in 2022. So you wouldn't know the difference unless you looked inside in the cabin. At the front we have the IQ. So in Ireland it comes in two different battery sizes, 52 kilowatt hour and a 77 kilowatt hour. The 52 kilowatt hour comes in two trims, Pure and Pure Plus. The 77 kilowatt hour comes in a couple of different trims. This is the rear-wheel drive Pro Plus. There is a Pro version, and then there's the GTX, which is the all-wheel drive, what we call in the Irish market. We have the IQ lights down here, and this kind of moves around, and it's got that daytime running light, and it also has this light bar that joins up. Some markets this is illuminated, not in the Irish market. It doesn't have a frunk. Down at the bottom here, then you've got some aero. You can see just to help along here, and then some lattice work down at the bottom with regards to the radar guided cruise control, etc. Some matte black, some matte silver, and this solid grey. Comes in 7 different colours: a white, a black, a blue, a red, a silver, a grey, and then it also comes in a metallic light blue. It's actually very nice, something different on the road. Wheels wise then, it comes in 18s up to 21s. Today we're on the optional 20s, Dramons I think they're called. And the two different tyre sizes, it's a 235 50/20 in the front, and on the rear it's a staggered. You have 255 45/20 in the rear. Disc brakes on the front, it's on that MEB platform, and then drum brakes on the rear. This one has the two-tone with the optional style pack on the top, so it has a black roof, and then it has this kind of silver line, and then it has the body colour then in underneath. Moving down along the side, you've got these flush ID Volkswagen handles, and it's a button in underneath, and you push it, or pull it, apologies, and it's keyless entry, keyless start, so you can do that. You have your large Volkswagen indicator, door mirror, retractable, and some matte black cladding all the way along. Tricks the eye the way they've designed it with regards to how swooping it is at the bottom, and also how narrow it is at the top. 2.6 metre wheelbase. Looks well, and it's practical. Ground up electric vehicle. It's not a vehicle that originally was combustion engine. They've stuck some batteries into it. They've done a good job on it. 2.766 metre wheelbase, and it's a 4.6 metre long. Rear right hand side for charging, 11 kilowatt on AC, up to 175 on DC, so around 30 minutes, 10 to 80%. Not the fastest charging, decent. At the back then we've got our shark fin aerial at the top, high level brake lamp up here, window wiper, which is always great to see, and you can see sometimes the difference in the trim levels. You can see this kind of a 3D effect, LED lighting at the rear. You don't get a designation as to what it is anymore. ID4, and then power tail lift. Down the bottom you've got your gloss black. Depending on the GTX version will be different to this, and then some matte silver down at the bottom here as well. 543 litres boot, 40/60 with a ski hatch. You can see your ISOFIX top tethers, lots of lashing points. You've got 12 volt up here, LED light, some bag hooks, got your parcel shelf, and you even have a little extra down in the footwell there, or the boot well. Great space. Not the flattest of floors in. It can tow. This rear-wheel drive version can tow 1200 kg. The all-wheel drive GTX version can tow 1400 kg. With those roof rails, it has a 75 kg load, and it also has the ability of a 75 kg vertical on the tow hitch as well. This is why people buy the ID4. This is why people like the ID4. Super practical. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. There's people still buying them. Prices in Ireland for the standard range battery is starting around 38,000 euros on the road, and then for this larger battery starting at 43,000 euros for the Pro version. This one today is coming in at just around 49,000 euros with a couple of extra options on it, and the GTX then goes up to, you can get the GTX Plus around 55,000 euros. We'll sit behind ourselves in the rear, nearly a 100% flat floor. Your two ISOFIX, very easy to get in to them. You can see there, flap down, nice velour and man-made leather seats. And you have that center, 3 headrests, center cup holders, 2.5, and that ski hatch that folds all the way down then as well if you want to get into the rear storage. In the rear, you have, my feet can go underneath the seat in my position, magazine holder, map holder, and then a little device holder in the rear. Our rear windows are locked, so I'll do that when I'm in the front. You can get a tri-zone connector for it, but this one doesn't have it, but it does have the 2 USB Type-Cs. You can see the top tether point in that third ISOFIX in the front passenger seat. Some utilitarian plastic, some soft stuff here, a bit of gloss black going on around the place. I wouldn't be a biggest fan of it, and a good sized door bin there as well. This is the pano sunroof, and there is a blind that goes all the way up. Headroom for me, I'm 6'2", 188 centimeters. I'm touching headrest before I'm touching, and it's about 2-3 centimeters. So for an adult in the rear, perfect. 2 big adults or 3 smaller children. Again, that dedicated electric vehicle platform, and this seat being set for me, it's 6'2", behind 6'2". I'm slightly higher up. I'm looking out over, I'll show you what it looks like. I'm looking out over that driver's seat. You've got all 4 seats have grab handles, coat hooks, the little touch sensitive lights. There is no child lock on, not like me not to have the child lock not engaged. And then in the front, you have some changes versus the Gen 1 ID4. So this one has manually adjusted seats, all about keeping the cost and the weight down. On the door, you have those rear versus front selector. So when you're using the front, it doesn't illuminate. When you want to use the rear, people wouldn't have been the biggest fan, but again, Ireland's #1 selling electric vehicle, so people got over it very quick. Rear child lock, center locking, the ability to change your door mirrors, retract them, and also heat them. And because it's a power tail lift, it has that in the door. Good large size here. You've got the play pause silver pedals. And into the car itself, this is the new 12.9-inch screen. So soft touch up here. You've got some silver, so you've got a couple of different options on the interior. You've got a dark, you've got a dark and brown. This is the blind. You can see coming over there, what a gorgeous day. It doesn't open, but it does have that blind in it, so if you wanted it. So in the head unit, you've got SOS, you've got the ability to turn on the lights. Either side has a mirror with a light, on the driver's side also. Steering wheel hasn't changed design-wise, as in the shape of it. It's slightly flat bottom, but they have changed the layout and the sensitivity of these haptics. So cruise control and volume on the left-hand side, right-hand side is heated steering wheel, the ability to change track, the views on the actual 5-inch driver display. And on generation 1, the mode drive gear selector was up onto the dash on the actual infotainment, but they've moved it down here very much like the ID Buzz and the ID7. So it's D for forward, and you could potentially see the ID light there. Oh, you can see it flashing away there. So I've done a whole video on what this ID light does at the bottom of the windscreen. So drive, 2-stage regenerative braking, drive, and then push it forward again. You can see it selecting there. And that's just the regenerative braking options, neutral, and then reverses the other way. You've got that reversing camera. And then P at the end for park. This steering wheel is reach and rake, so there's a lever down here, and you can see the driver infotainment cluster is moving with the actual steering column. Very smart way of doing it. My right knee is the lighting control. I've stuck it in auto, but you can have front and rear bad weather lights, max front and rear defroster, and it also has the front electric windscreen. This 12.9 inches up on the 12 inch that it would have been on generation 1, and they've changed the layout of it. So along the bottom now is always your HVAC is fixed there, and this is illuminated down at the bottom, whereas on generation 1 ID4 this wasn't illuminated. So it's got Android Auto and Apple CarPlay built in, so much faster than the original model. So you can see your vehicle status, you can see what's happening, you can see all your different apps, but you also can see exactly how things are moving and how fast things are compared to the first generation. So much better infotainment system, much more responsive, and the fact that you've got wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Center console then is similar to Gen 1. You can have it up here. You've also got a covered wireless charger, 2 USB Type-Cs, and then this cup holder. If I remove this, you can take that out of there, and then you can move that up there. If you want your cup holder in there, that way around. Yes, it is. And that fits in. So if you are always using your cups, and then you can move this divider back into this center console if you want that there. And you can swap that around then as well. This one covers over. And then in underneath then, it's a floating console, but there is no storage down here then as well. It's half glove box because of left-hand drive with the fuse box. Armrests, which are always a nice touch in a car. You can see the ID design in that kind of velour, and that's Isofix on that front passenger seat. So 3 in total as well. For the driver, headroom loads, and the seat has height, reach, or move in and out. So multi-way adjustment in it as well. Lovely, comfortable side driving position. Again, that ground up EV, because they were able to design it, they've got the wheels right out, so you've got that extra wheelbase, and the capacity within in the cabin is a huge factor. I think I've gone through everything. Just let me go through my notes. But the ID4, great to get it back on the channel. It's a single electric motor on this version. It's 286 horsepower given 560, so it's way up on the generation 1, so much more powerful, but also much more efficient. Yeah, that was all I need to talk to you about. Let's take it out for a drive. Before we take it out for a drive, I definitely want to talk about the charging shortcut that they've put on the new version. So you can now put in the optimized version, and you can see exactly, because this battery is at 87%, 469 kilometer range, my maximum on DC is 28 kilowatt hour, and I can bring it up to 30 kilowatt hour if I start the battery preheating. So I can precondition the battery now, but once that battery is all the way down and depleted, that top charging speed is increased. But if it's cold outside, I can now start that battery rather than using the inbuilt satellite navigation, which would have that preconditioning. So if I'm telling the Volkswagen navigation and going to a charger, it would know and it would preheat. But if I'm using my Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, Waze, third-party satellite navigation, I can now put in the started preconditioning on the battery. It takes a long time to heat up that battery, so 30 minutes to an hour, depending on the temperature outside, depending on where you're going. So it's not a 5 minutes before you go charging. It's something you need to think about well in advance. We were at a Ford event recently, and they were saying that they haven't put that functionality into it because people don't think about it in time. They've built it into the satellite navigation. So, but it's great to see the option of preconditioning your battery on the Volkswagen ID4 update. So that was good as well. One area I didn't talk about or didn't do was drop down that rear window, and it goes all the way. That's the rear window down. What's it like driving the ID4? There is a start-stop button on the side of the steering wheel, but it is redundant really, because when you sit in on the seat and press the brake pedal, everything engages, and it is, so it's keyless entry, keyless start. You can utilize it. I haven't utilized it all weekend, like a lot of these MEB and other platforms. Steering wheel is a nice shape and size, but we'll kick off into D mode. Super smooth. And it was already a nice car to drive, but just that increase of power. This one doesn't have blind spot, which I'm surprised about actually, being the Pro Plus model. On the Usually it's on the housing of the side mirror. Also doesn't have a head-up display, and you can get augmented reality head-up display. So there are a couple of options on it. I couldn't find the blind spot option on any pack, so maybe they're just not doing that anymore. Large vehicle, 2.2 ton or 2,200 kgs. So you do feel that heft. So the two-stage regenerative brake in D mode and B mode, and it does have auto hold functionality as well. I haven't mishit anything on the steering wheel with regards to the haptic buttons on it, so that's been decent. Yeah, it's a lovely cruiser, and I've done a lot of videos on the original ID4. I did coast to coast with it as well. So long term, this has been getting 18.2 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. And then since charging, since I've gotten it, I've been getting 14.9. A lot of urban in that, not a lot of motorway. Let's start off with our checklist. So visibility, door mirrors, nice and wide. I just would like to see blind spot included in that. Visibility out the rear, when the headrests are up, it's not great, but again, are you going to have really tall people in the rear? And the central headrest, again, that's usually going to be a smaller person. You can see out the back though. Great light and visibility within the actual cabin then itself. Seats are lovely, and with that armrest, I always love a nice armrest. And so you've got some nice cushion on the door and on the armrest then as well. But the seats, the bolstering in them, side of them, and these ones aren't the memory ones or the ergo ones. This is just the standard Volkswagen ID seats. But good. Some markets, they're heated on this trim, but in some markets they're also ventilated. The steering wheel we talked about already is a great size, great heft, nice and thick. And the feedback then with regards to the blend between regenerative braking and standard braking is very well done within the Volkswagen. It's a solid car. You can see why they've sold so many of them in Ireland and other markets. It's up against a lot of competition now, in fairness. There's a lot of competition in this space. There's a lot of competition in all the spaces that they're operating in. Volkswagen doesn't have the smaller ones yet. ID3 is the smallest one. We're waiting for the ID1 and waiting for the ID2 all. Coming down the line at some stage in 2026 and 2027 potentially. But yeah, looking forward to seeing more of that. But today, it's about getting back with the Volkswagen ID4 and understanding why people are still going for it. And it's because it's a solid all-rounder. Great space, great efficiency. They've updated the things they needed to update. Yeah, it's a good job from Volkswagen. We're going to bring it up on the motorway now at 120 kilometers an hour, just to have a little listen to see what kind of road noise we're getting. The suspension is not too soft. There is a small bit of firmness in it, but it's nowhere near as firm as some of its competitors. That's 100 kilometers an hour in there now. Lovely. 120. That's 120. Small bit of road noise around those large door mirrors. Overall, yeah, good package. On the slower speeds, and we're coming in here to 60, coming down to 50, you can start to hear a bit of that rolling road noise. But again, minor kind of stuff. It is an insulated glass. Super smooth. Hopefully you've enjoyed that look around the updated Volkswagen ID4, a solid contender if you're looking for a large electric SUV. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so. Hit the like button, leave a comment, and remember, if you think an EV is for you, leave it to me and I'll review. Thank you very much for watching.